Are Bitcoin and Litecoin in a critical area? What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Friday. We're going to take a look at the charts, starting out with Litecoin, moving on to Bitcoin. Then we're going to take a look at my favorite chart comparison, the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly chart, and see why I believe we could still be headed to 46,000 by the end of the year. I'm also going to take a look at gold and the traditional market just a little bit and show you why I think we could be heading into a recession. So definitely stick around to the end to check that out. Also, I want to remind you guys we have a free Discord group in the description box below the video. 100% free, great crypto community. Check it out if you haven't already. Also, there's some affiliate links in there that really help support the channel if you guys can use them. If not, that's all right too. And let's look at the market, see what's going on. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind it's still a speculative market. Do not put in more than you're willing to lose. With that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. That'll get you subscribed to the channel and you won't miss out on anything, as I do daily updates every day. I also do some live streams, and if you tick the notification bell, that'll get you notified as soon as I post videos so you don't miss out on anything. Smash the likes, leave your comments, let me know what you think, guys, and let's get into it. Looking at Litecoin on the daily, and we've been watching this as a big cup and handle with the neckline of 100. I still believe it hasn't been invalidated, so I'm still looking at it. If we did a measured move off the cup, put it to, if we were to break out above the 100, I do believe we're headed to 270 bucks, and that would be, you know, by the end of the year for sure, maybe much higher. But I do want to take a look at some other stuff. Let's look at the daily RSI and see what's going on here. And if we look at the daily RSI, we had been looking at this as a rising channel. We fell out of it in a falling channel. Question is, are we going to come back down here, or are we headed back up? And looking at the RSI, this could drop more and invalidate it, but it does look like we are seeing bullish divergence, which is lower lows in the price action and higher lows in the RSI. That is bullish divergence. Don't get it confused with hidden bullish divergence, because that would be the opposite. So that is bullish divergence. It does look like we're going to probably have a move up, but it's not to say we don't move down first. Let's look at the hourly, or the 4-hour RSI, see what's going on in that. And as you can see, we're in this falling channel here. This top line being resistance, bottom line being support. And it looks like we could be headed up from here, guys. We just had the touchdown here. Not to say we can't come back and make one more touch, but it does look like we are probably going to be heading up, at least in the short term. Let's take a look at it in the price action, and we'll take a look at the bearish case first and then the bullish case. And as you can see, I have this triangle drawn in here, which could be a bear flag. Also, this is our support resistance line that we fell below. If we do get back above it and gain support on it, then I'm looking at the higher target. But let's take a look at the bearish case first. So in the bearish case, measuring from the breakout right here, where we broke down, and then if we look at this as a bear flag, put it down to here, that gets us down to the area we've been talking about, which is the $62 range, which also is this long-term trend line right here from where we bottomed out back in December. So that is a possibility. Keep in mind that's the bearish case scenario. But if we do stay, look, and guys, I do believe that'll be the lowest we go. If we do go past that, and I would give it a little bit of leeway, you know, if we were to go below 61.50, 62, I think we're looking at a very bearish case scenario, but I do think that's going to hold. Only time will tell. So let's look at the triangle. The other measured move I have, if we measure this, the width of the triangle, put it up to the top, depending on where we break out, guys, is looking around the 84 to 84.50 range, which would also probably go something like this if we were to break out, you know, come up and test the bottom of this blue trend line, which also, sorry about moving the screen all the way around, but which would be testing the bottom of this trend line here that we broke down from right here. But as of right now, that's in short term. That's what I'm looking at, the 84. I'm also looking at this as a falling broadening wedge. And in the bullish case scenario, if we were to break up out of this, depending on where it broke, but we'd be looking at a price range of around 167. Like I said, it all depends on if and where we break this top trend line. That'll give us that target. But as of now, I'm going to keep it in, you know, the 167 area. No idea why I just deleted that. Go over and put that line back in there. Sorry about that. I just don't want to lose that line and then I forget to mention it in the future. So yeah. All right. That's Litecoin. Let's look at Bitcoin. Looks like we're having a drop in Bitcoin here. And if you guys been following along, you know, my major area right here is watching in this green area, which I believe is a big bull flag forming. We're going to take a look at the targets of that now. Looking at this as one big bull flag from this whole move back since December being the flag pull. We're to put that up, depending on where we break out, guys, that gets us up to around the 21,000 range. Now, we're going to zoom in a little bit and look a little closer at the big targets. Then we're going to look at the RSI and take a look at the more immediate price action. So looking at this as a falling channel, like I said, I do believe it's a bull flag, but looking at it as a falling channel, the measured move, depending on where we break out, it's going to get us around, you know, between the $15,000 and $16,000 area. All depends on where, if and when we break this top trend line. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to look at it as this being a flag pull right here. Also, people had been looking at it as a symmetrical triangle. So if we use this as the measured move, and again, depending on where, if and when we break this top line, that gets us up to about the 18,000 in that area. And when it breaks, you know, we'll have a video showing you where we believe the targets are. But anyway, yes, then the next one is up to the 21,000. Going to the RSI, look at what's going on here. You can see I have this trend line in here drawing the RSI. If that was to break, most likely going down the bearish case scenario would be retesting this bottom support line. And that is a falling broadening wedge here. So, or ascending broadening wedge, whichever way you want to look at it. Or descending, I'm sorry. But yeah, we could be, if that holds here, you know, we're probably headed up from here. If it breaks here, we're looking at the more bearish case, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. Let's take a look at the 4 hour, see if that's telling us anything. All right, so in the 4 hour, have this falling channel here, and the measured move, if we do break up out of this channel, which I do believe is quite possible. Of course, the bearish case being we come down and test the bottom of this triangle, or this channel, but that would be too low in the RSI, so I don't see it. You know, we could bounce around this area a little bit before breaking, but just say we broke out somewhere in this area. I'm going to put a trend line there. That would help us get the top of the move of the breakout of the RSI. Hope you guys can follow along with that. I know most of you guys that have been watching my channel understand that, but those of you that are new, just stick around, check out the old videos, and you'll start to learn what this stuff is about. All right, let's look at the bearish case, then the bullish case scenario. So I'm looking at this in a few ways. And remember, guys, nothing is big and critical while we're in this green area to me, which I believe to be a bull flag. I don't know why this got shortened, but there we go. But yeah, in this area, I really see no need to get crazy excited or crazy bearish nor bullish heavily. So anyways, let's look at what I got going on here. This looks like a falling wedge. Going off of these 3 points of support, making this trend line, and 1, 2, 3 points of resistance up here, making a broadening wedge. So a falling broadening wedge, which is usually bullish. There's also in here the yellow, I have a falling channel. We have been looking at this 94.31 as, let me zoom out so you can see that. I have this thick white line drawn in here, and I have been considering this a trend change line where we went off all these peaks, got resistance, and then we broke through, came back down, and we're getting support off that same line. So that is the area I'm watching now for our low. Like I said, the bearish case, we come back down, test this 9400 area, somewhere in that range. And if that does break, we could be headed down to the $8,500 area. And again, guys, this is the bearish case. We will be taking a look at the bullish case. But this one I have off of these 3 touches down here is this yellow trend line we've had here since, man, I think I put that in back in February, something like that. So that's an absolute worst case scenario, guys. I believe if we drop down past that and test the bottom of this flag, you know, could be, depending on where it hits, 7,500 to 78. But if that breaks, guys, we're looking at an extremely bearish case scenario. But I do not think that's going to happen. I believe we're in the more bullish case scenario. And let's take a look at the more immediate targets here, and then we'll move on to the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly chart. So looking at this, like I said, if we were to break down, we were looking, I showed you the bearish case. Now the bullish case, if we're to continue up from here, the measured move off of the breakout of this channel here, which would be this channel here in the RSI. The measured move off that, guys, would get us up, depending on where it breaks out, up to there about the 11.2 range. So that's what I'm looking at. Even if we do come down and retest this, I do believe we'll get a bounce up to this area, and then we'll have to go from there and see what's going on. But this is what I'm looking at now, the 11.2, and if that was to break, and again, this is just, you know, until we get up there, this means nothing. But if that was to break somewhere in that area, you know, then we're looking at around the 13.5 area, somewhere in there. But until that breaks, that means nothing. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at now, guys. Like I said, we could get this drop down here to the 94 area and then continue on up. I do believe we'll be coming up to test the 11.2 area. Keep in mind, if this breaks, then we're looking at the 8,500 area. Let's go into Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly, and I'll click back and forth so you can see it. This is why I believe we'll hit 46,000 by the end of the year. And if you believe in patterns, a pattern is a pattern, and this pattern seems to be playing out beautifully. You guys been watching the channel, you know we've been watching this since January. I'll point out some key things. There's from the all-time high, I've drawn a line to where it capitulated from 6,000, and from the second peak, I've drawn another one which created a triangle here. We had 2 touches on the bottom support line here before bouncing through and breaking through the blue line, which is from these supports here in the bear market. Before we broke down, we broke above it, came back down, tested it on a wick, moved up from there. There's also these supports from the bear market on this white trend line, and I've drawn this all in on the gold chart too. So, and like I said, believe this is a bull flag forming here. And again, they're not going to play out candle for candle, but the pattern itself is playing out beautifully. We obviously had a bull flag, more of a triangle here in gold. We did have the same thing. I drew the lines from the peaks, creating the triangle. 2 touches on the bottom support line before breaking through. Same thing with the blue trend line, old support. Broke through that, tested it for support. Then moved up to the white line, which was off the peaks, just like in, you see what I'm getting at here, just like in gold or Bitcoin. Then we broke through. We played on this line up and down for quite some time, and we're doing the same here. And again, it's not exact, guys, but it's still the pattern's still good, in my opinion, unless we break down from this flag. And then I would say this is invalidated. But anyways, that's what I'm looking at, guys. And you can see what happened to gold and how quick. I do believe we're probably headed in the same direction. So by the time I get this video out, we might know what's happening by then. Another thing I wanted to look at is looking at bearish divergence here. This is the traditional markets, guys. But I did want to point this out. It looks bad for the traditional markets, big time. There's a possibility we're going into a recession, and I have been talking about this area in gold. We have broke this rising trend line here. I do have a measured move off of this as a triangle and to where it broke out about 1675. The other measured move I have here is measuring, the breakout of this rising channel that gold has broken out of, and that is around the 1837 area. And if you guys watch, as this goes up, the market dumps, the traditional market. So I do believe it is a sign of a recession, and I'm calling that if we close this weekly above this trend line, in my opinion, we'll be confirming a recession beginnings. Just my opinion, guys. As always, not financial advice. Now, I do want to look at the RSI in gold, or in Bitcoin, I'm sorry. We're going to look at the weekly. We've also been watching this since January. And we have these two trend lines drawn here. This is 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. We had two touches of resistance before breaking through, starting the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. Two touches of resistance before breaking through, starting the bull market. We've been watching these two areas right here and the similarities. If we look at what's going on right now there, zoom in a little bit and show you, we are obviously getting, thicken this line up so you can see it. We're obviously getting hidden bullish divergence, which is higher highs in the price action and lower lows in the RSI. Hidden bullish divergence, guys. Again, this is the weekly, so this will take some time to play out, but I do believe we are definitely headed up. And let's go back. Let me get rid of this stuff so it cleans that chart up. I'm also going to take a look at the monthly RSI. Looking at the monthly RSI, I had these two arcs drawn in here. This is the 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. 4 arrows representing new lows in the RSI. We had 4 of them before continuing on and beginning the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. 4 arrows representing new lows in the RSI before starting the bull market. I do believe we are going to have a great year, guys. We will see how it plays out. But anyways, thank you for watching. And if you want to subscribe, click the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Click the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. I will see you later.